Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Boom, I just realized I'm standing in front of that. Alright, don't call that phone number. You'll get crazy long distance charges. Alright, primalatc.com, talking today some more discus and rotational shot put technique and form. Now last night on Facebook, stuff was blowing up like crazy. We had a thrower friend of mine, Facebook friend of mine from Maine, that was posting older videos from Mac Wilkins. Mac Wilkins talking about the 9 o'clock drop. And Brian Oldfield was on Facebook last night talking about the J position, what I usually would like to call the kind of landing on that bent power leg, landing on a soft, kind of lazy power leg. He also called it the lazy J. There's a lot of terms for it. But guys, basically what those terms are have to deal with dipping down. They have to deal with getting low on the entry as you go to drive into zero support and getting low as you go to drive into your power position or drive into the actual throw, the finish of the rotation shot or the discus. Now, this is what we're talking about. What Mac Wilkins sort of made famous is that 9 o'clock drop. That's something that I've heard him talk about in different presentations. That's things that I've seen videos on him about. It's something that he likes to talk about. Basically, and this is the rotational shot as well as the discus, as you are in, I'm going to back up a little bit, as you're in the back of the circle, you've got the discus or the shot up against your neck. As you go to turn out of the back, a lot of people, what they do is they stand up and kick to the middle. So you've got that tall stand, kick, and drop to the middle. So it's a standing up in the back and a dropping down to the middle. What Mac and Oldfield and Godina and everybody else who's had some really good form and technique and really good results and Olympic medals and all that stuff, Randy Barnes is another one, what they look for and what they look like when they throw is there's a drop. As this blocking foot, so as a right-handed thrower, it's my left foot, as my left foot turns and I'm getting ready to drive through that circle, as I'm getting ready to drive, we're on the left foot and the left foot's pointing toward 9 o'clock. You don't just start to run or drop in the circle. You dip down and drive up into zero support. So you're not coming up and dropping. You're dipping down and driving. So there's a dip and a drive up into zero support. Now, as you land in the power position, and this is something that I've talked about in multiple videos, that if you've been watching the videos, you should be pretty much kind of familiar with me saying, is that the hardest part of a rotational throw, and the glide for that matter, is landing in the power position on a bent power leg. A lot of times when athletes drive out of the back, they're not allowing themselves to land in the middle of the circle. They're not allowing the circle to meet their bent power leg. They're reaching for the circle. So as they drive, pinch the knees together. As they come out, they dip. As they drive, and they're going to land, they stomp their foot down and try to get the foot to meet the ground quicker. The hardest part of the rotation shot, discus, and the glide shot is landing on that bent power leg. So as you drive, as you turn out of the back and you're going to drive down that left sector, don't reach for the center of the circle. Don't try to stomp down to the middle of the circle. Drive up and let yourself land on the bent right leg. Land on the power leg. So we're not going to land on a stiff, straight leg. You need to dip back down, rebend that leg, land on a cushioned leg, whatever you want to think of it. I think it was Oldfield, said, this was at like an NTCA clinic, 2004, 2005, whoever the first NTCA clinic is, he talked about it being a stretch reflex like a jump shot in basketball. Jump shot in basketball, you've got to dip down to shoot. Same thing as you land in that power position. Turn out of the back, 9 o'clock drop, a la Matt Wilkins, drop, land, drop again in the power position. Drop again in the power position so you can drive with vertical force along with the horizontal force of the speed coming out of the back. Okay, so something to talk about, kind of jumping on the bandwagon of last night. It was just one of those, I don't know if it's just my Facebook feed, if you guys are friends with these guys on Facebook, but we had throwers talking about the 9 o'clock drop. We had Brian Oldfield talking about that J position. We had an old video from Matt Wilkins that was floating around. Guys, there's a lot of people that are talking about the throws. It's that time of year. So I wanted to jump on there, try to explain my take on it, how there's two different ways that you dip and explode out of the back, dip and explode in the front of the circle. So you dip and you explode twice. Back of the circle, dip, explode. As you drive into zero support, you land on a bent leg, dip, and explode. 2 dips, 2 explodes. If you're doing that, you're going to add some distance to your throws. All right, guys, Coach Matt over at Primal, talking about this stuff, trying to get your brains moving, trying to get some ideas to formulate in your head. Make sure, guys, if you have questions, email me, matt@primalatc.com. We'll get them answered for you up here on YouTube or by email if they're kind of one that's been answered before. We'll give you a link to a YouTube video so you guys can solve your problems, solve this riddle of throwing, and throw more PRs sooner and get better marks earlier in the season. Hope to hear from you soon.